Good morning.
I don't know what happened there, but good morning, Savannah and the Low Country. And welcome to the Karl DeMasi Sports Report. The coach and AD went out live. Can you hear me?
I got you, man. Loud and clear.
I got you.
We're good.
Hold on one second. I got technical difficulty here. I got something coming back. Let's hold on one second.
No problem.
You're good on your end, but I got feedback coming back to me for some reason. I'm trying to figure it out. All right. Where is it coming from? All right. Well, I guess let's see what happens when I do this. Hold tight. There, I'm back. Are you there?
I got you, man. Loud and clear.
Okay.
We're good.
All right. Once again, let's start from the top. It's the coach and the AD on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report, but we're not live from where?
We're not from the Savannah Sports universe, unfortunately. We are different places.
It's the coach and the AD on the
We're
Karl
live
DeMasi.
from Coach's Point.
Not live from where?
We're not from the Savannah Sports universe, unfortunately. We are different places.
It's the coach and the AD on the
We're live
Karl
from Coach's Point.
All right, let me try that now, Chad. I mean, I got a lot of feedback coming in here from another site. I don't know what's going on, but anyway, we'll start from the top. You got a live internet show. I disconnected everything else except for one computer. I had another computer working, but that's interfering with us. But anyway, how's it going over there? I mean, a lot of cancellations in high school basketball last night. We got a great show. We're going to start off talking about all the local news, all the local action. Then we'll get into baseball with the Baseball Fanatic Kyle Lawson about 9:15. Then we got our Athlete of the Week nominated from Savannah Christian, Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic Athlete of the Week. The guy's on fire. I mean, Cooper George from Savannah Christian. Then we're going to jump on and we'll talk more basketball with the expert for the last 5 years. He's an internet sensation, Kyle Sandy from Sandy Spiels. And then we're going to remember Hank Aaron at the end of the show with Kevin Kernan, New York Post sports reporter, baseball guy for the Mets for so many years. Now he's working for, he's retired, but he's doing a side gig with baseline.com. So I'm going to be excited about that. So really big show, Chad. And I'm sorry it started out with a little technical difficulty, but I think we're straight now.
Yeah, I think we sound good, man. I can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, but on my end, I was talking, and then when you started talking, I heard myself again. So, well, I don't answer myself, so I'm not crazy. So anyway, we take 3 steps in the door. First segment, we break down high school sports, college sports, and then the professional sports, and then whatever's going on here in Savannah, Georgia. So let's start with high school sports, okay? A lot of cancellations last night, a lot of postponed games. It's starting to catch up to us.
Yeah, it seems like the last week for a lot of schools and us included, we chose to pause athletics for the weekend. So that was 2 games, Hilton Head Christian Thursday night, then our big Country Day game this weekend. But, yeah, it's like that across the board. I don't know if it's just coming out of Christmas break and just different things. And so starting to catch up to us. But fortunately, a lot of us have plans. We have enough dates to get things hopefully back in order and ready to play. But there also was some big games last night on the hardwood.
So, of course, we all love looking at rankings. And, I mean, in 6A, boys, Richmond Hill, 14-0, canceled last night against Benedictine. They were supposed to play Benedictine. The game was canceled, so I don't know when they'll come back to the hardwood. But Bill Henderson, we had him on a couple of weeks ago on our Wednesday night live update. Great job over there by the Wildcats. In Class 3A, Windsor Forest sat out for almost a month. They have their feet back underneath them, and now they're off to a 5-1 start. They're ranked 3rd in 3A. Johnson comes in 4th in 3A. In Class AA, Woodville Tompkins, 11-1. They took one on the chin last night, which we'll get to the scoreboard from Jenkins, who was ranked for the longest time in the top 10, but dropped out this week. Girls side, Johnson and Beach, always going at it. The only loss Johnson has is to Beach. So Johnson number 1, Beach number 8, and then down there, Calvary Day School moved up a spot. I don't know what these people are watching, but we're not in the ATL, so that's what happens. Yeah.
It's a deep, Class A private's very deep, especially in that girls. When you start talking about Hebron and Wesleyan and St. Francis and some of those other schools, this Class A private's really, really tough. But the girls are coming in there at number 8 at 12-1, and then got to make up some games next week. Tentatively, Calvary is scheduled to host Country Day girls on Tuesday, but we'll see if that gets to play out as well. And so then next Friday night, Calvary would host Savannah Christian, and we'll just kind of go on from then. They play Beach that Saturday. And then, gosh, man, we get in that first week of February, and it's like makeup week and, 4 games that week. So it's here, 3 weeks left in the regular season, Carl. And it's going to come fast and furious, and hopefully we can get all these games in.
All right, and let's go to the scoreboard. The games that did play last night, from what scores I could find or what coaches sent me in. Also, if you go to the Prep Sports Report website, you got the ticker on top, and Travis Jadon wrote another roundup. He covered that Savannah Christian, Savannah Country Day game, so check that out. But go ahead, let's go with the boys.
So the boys last night, not only did Effingham County hire a new football coach, they got the win over their rival last night over South Effingham, 66-53. Jenkins, big win over Woodville Tompkins right there, 63-43. That was a big win for HV Jenkins there. Beach in OT over Savannah High, 51-45. Savannah Christian is on fire. I know I can imagine. I watched some glimpses last night, and Coach Walsh is pretty passionate. We've known him to be a pretty passionate guy. And you could tell on the video he was fired up last night. Hey, he's 2-0 against. He's got a win over Calvary and a win over Country Day. It was huge for Savannah Christian. So they got a big win, 59-57. Memorial 76-67 over Robert Toombs. Bethesda 66-57 over College and Prep. They win not a lot of girls games, Carl, but Woodville Tompkins once again they stay hot. 47 win over Jenkins. Beach over Savannah High, 43-34, and Country Day girls get a big win over Savannah Christian, 57-34.
I got to give a big shout out to Memorial Day School. Robert Toombs Christian Academy came in as the number 1 ranked team in that division, and Memorial Day School, I mean, at one point they were up like 20, 25 points. So once again, Coach O'Neill doing a great job over there. The Matadors with a big win, and they'll play again today. They're going to take on public school, Savannah High. So we'll see how they do against that. Before we go into wrestling duels, I know Benedictine's holding a foray. I know Savannah Chatham schools are over at Islands. They're not part of the duels. You got any dual information from that Class A or anybody else around? I know South Effingham and Effingham are in it, but I don't know where their sites are.
Yeah, so Class A is pretty quiet. I think a lot of Class A, outside of Savannah, everything's in Macon, and so we're gearing up for the singles, the individual stuff here in a week.
Yeah, that's what the Savannah Chatham County schools are going to do. They're going to go to the individual tournament. Duels is team. Yep. The traditional is individuals. Okay. All right. So let's talk about Savannah Quarterback Club. Did a great job this year. They kept on honoring athletes of the week or players of the week and offense and defense player of the week while they're giving out their big awards. They're traveling schools. Once again, Benedictine, with the schedule they had to deal with and what they did and how far they got, they were nominated as the Savannah Quarterback Club Team of the Year. Offensive Player of the Year went to Justin Thomas. Defensive Player of the Year went to Bubba Chisholm out of Islands High School. Nick Dillon got the first $10,000 scholarship. There'll be one more coming out Monday. I know who it is, but I don't want to blow the ceremony, so we'll find out who the other scholarship winner is. But once again, great job by the Savannah Quarterback Club, still honoring our local prep football players. The new coach at Effingham County High School, John Ford. The man has a great resume. Roswell, he took them to a couple of state championships. Then he went over to Buford. That's right, the legendary Buford, 13 state titles. Lasted there for 2 years, went down to Bleckley County. Now he's up there coaching in the Ham. There's always a lot of talent in Effingham, whether it's Effingham or South Effingham. But imagine if they would have kept those schools together, Chad.
Power.
A powerhouse. Power. So, all right. So that's high school news. Anything else I can think of? Anything else with high school news you can think of? Oh, big question. And I know you're the man from Georgia High School. Everybody's asking about region playoffs. I know as far as 4A goes and 3A goes, they're working on their plan. They're looking at playing the rounds at one site so you don't have all these teams converging on one place. How are they doing it down there? Or how did you hear that they're doing it throughout the state?
So everybody is. They're doing a little bit different. Some of them are playing at higher seeds. That way they don't bring everybody into one place. Kind of way some tournaments are doing it where if you're a higher seed team, you host a game until you get to the semifinals and finals, and they're putting them at one site for what most of the people are doing from Class A private that I'm hearing around the state. Hey, we'll play first rounds at higher seeds. Then we get to the semifinals and finals. Hey, we'll play them at one site from that standpoint. But that's really, I think, the best way to do it, what they're looking at, and probably the safest way to do it as well. That's what Region 3 private. For us, there's only 4 teams. There's one play-in game for the girls. That's a 5-4 game on Tuesday, February the 9th. And then the semifinals and finals will be at Savannah Christian. It's the biggest venue to host it. But also what's different for us this year is no power rankings. Power rankings this year. So you got to play out, the losers of the semifinals, they'll play each other out for the seeding, the 3 and 4 seed, which we've not done in, 7 years since the power rankings came into existence. But now we're back to that. All
right. Well, we're going to continue with this at the end of the show. We still got to talk about colleges. We still got to talk about pro sports, what's going on. We got the NFL division championships. We'll get on to this later on, but I got to get back on track. Little technical difficulty to start the show, so we lost a couple of minutes there. But up next, talking baseball. And what better time to talk baseball? Of course, I got my Braves shirt on today, Hank Aaron. And Chad, you know me, I usually don't do this. But if you're going to ask me who is the greatest baseball player of all time, there's no doubt about it. It will always be hammering Hank Aaron. I don't care what anybody says. What that guy could do on a base pass, what that guy could do in the outfield, what that guy could do with his bat, I'm averaging 40 home runs a year. It's absurd. He still owns the RBI, runs batted in record, not RBIs, the run batted in record. So you can't tell me. And you know what? If you take away his 755 home runs, he's still got over 3,000 hits. What more do I have to say? So
I think for me, when we talk about hammering Hank is just the ambassador to the game of baseball that he became after his retirement. I think what he was able to do after his play was just as important than was during his play. His play was amazing. He's an icon for years. But, man, what a great ambassador to the game. And just as a human being, there'll be no one ever like Hammering Hank again.
Class, dignity, and he wanted to be treated the same, which everybody should be treated the same, no matter what color you are, no matter what gender you are. Everybody should be treated the same. Hey, we can go off on this, but we got to come back. We got 3 minutes to thank our sponsors. Up next, the Baseball Fanatic. That's right, my man, Kyle Lawson, right here from Savannah, Georgia, talking some baseball, talking Hank Williams. We'll be back in 3 minutes. You're listening to the Coach and AD on Karl DeMasi Sports, usually from where, Chad?
Center Sports Universe. It is still Coach's Corner. It's still a Center Sports Universe. They'll have all the games on for you this weekend. See you in 3.
All part of the Coach's Corner Sports Network.
It's all sports, all the time. That's Coach's Corner and Thunderbolt. Coach's Corner has been voted the best in Savannah for 20 years running, and it's no wonder why. Sports, live music, delicious and generous portions of pub food, all for our fans. No matter what the season, there's always a reason to check out Coach's Corner. It's always game time at Coach's Corner. Pick your favorite sport, pick your favorite team, and pick a TV, and Coach's Corner is your place. Coach's Corner is always open for lunch, dinner, and now breakfast, Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 10:30. But remember, Coach's Corner still has takeout service. John Harrison and Coach's Corner crew has smoked Boston butts, ribs, and chicken on the grill. You can place your order by calling Coach's Corner at 912-352-2933. That's 912-352-2933. As always, make it a night to remember at Coach's Corner.
At Calvary Day School, we want our students to be fully equipped and on the cutting edge of academics, making a difference in our world. Your child will grow academically, physically, socially, and spiritually. At Calvary, it is so good to say we are one school with one mission and one vision: faith, academics, excellence, and building champions through Christ. Calvary Day School would consider it a privilege to meet with your family personally. Call Philip Lee, Director of Admissions, at 351-2299. That's 351-2299. Some real New York deli and Italian food? Bada bing, bada boom. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering is open at 7630 Skidaway Road in Savannah, Georgia during this social distancing problem. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering will take calls for pickup at 912-354-2914. That's 912-354-2914 on the phone. Kabish. If you want Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering goods delivered, go to savtakeout.com, savtakeout.com to place the order. Remember, Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering, we ain't New York style, we are
Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic. Your back hurts, another body part hurts all the time. It makes you mad. The pain drives you crazy. You just want to pick something up and throw it across the room? If you can. At the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic, you get complete chiropractic care and pain relief to help you move better, have a less painful life, and of course, achieve a healthier lifestyle. The Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic is now located at 2 locations in Savannah, Georgia, at 329 Eisenhower Drive and in Pooler at 114 Canal Street, Suite 603. So visit Dr. Bart Wetherington at the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic for all your chiropractic needs.
And welcome back to the Coach and AD on Karl DeMasi Sports Report. It's a Saturday morning. I'm glad you can join us, whether it's for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And it's all part of the Coach's Corner Sports Network. We're not at the center of the sports universe today. We're home. We're distancing. So once again, always a great show. And let's kick it off talking about baseball. And, of course, Hank Aaron, okay? And there's no better guy than, I think, Mr. Trivia himself. He has that plethora of baseball knowledge, and he's always welcome on the show. And, of course, PNC's report, Pitches and Catches report, February 16th. Joining us now on the Coach's Corner hot seat, the Baseball Fanatic, Kyle Lawson. Good morning, Kyle. How's it going?
Morning, guys. Been too long. How you doing?
Hey, we're doing good. How you doing?
I'm hanging in there, ready to talk some baseball. Yeah, Pitches and Catches report just right around the corner. I can't wait. Hoping to see a full schedule of games. Looks like we're going to get underway on time. Still a lot to be decided, but yeah, a lot to talk about today. And, of course, like you said in the last segment, we got to talk about the greatest Brave of all time, and if not the greatest, one of the greatest of all time, Hammer and Hank Aaron, who we lost at 86 years old. And what a great career, what a great ambassador for the game. And what more can you say?
I mean, he's definitely, in my book, I don't care what you say, you go statistics, whether it's this era, the 50s era, the 60s era, this man had everything you wanted in a ball player. And I don't care what anyone says. He can hit for home runs. He can hit for singles. He can hit for doubles. He still holds the record, if I'm not wrong, Kyle, for runs batted in. I mean, and you know what? You take away the home runs, he's still got over 3,000 hits.
Yeah, he does. And I mean, it's unbelievable. You know, he's second behind Barry Bonds with 755. And, you know, I mean, obviously you talk about, you know, steroid era, everything like that. I still think Hank's the real champ. I mean, you look at the categories the guy leads in. Number one, extra base hits. Number one, RBI. I mean, he had 72 home runs off of Hall of Fame pitching. I mean, you think in the era he played in, you know, the era of the pitcher, I mean, obviously came up in the 50s, with the Milwaukee Braves, but in the 60s, when you're going up against guys like Sandy Koufax and Bob Gibson, and to this day, like Bob Gibson, still one of the most intimidating pitchers of all time, would say he's one of the toughest guys to get out. You just make sure nobody, it's like, just get over there and back up third. He's going to do something. And, but yeah, and actually one funny story, of course, the great, Bob Uecker, broadcaster, came up with the Milwaukee Braves in 1962. And a story that always makes me laugh. And, it's probably Uecker just embellishing a little bit, but he said, he goes up to Hank and he just says, "Hey, Henry, I'm Bob Uecker." And of course, Hank comes back and says, "Well, what do you do?" I said, "Well, I'm a catcher." He goes, "Yeah, for what team?" It's but yeah, and it was, I wish we could talk under more, better circumstances. Still a lot to cover, but just to, lose Hank, start of the year, but unbelievable life. I mean, he led his life with a quiet dignity, and he did so much off the field, like Chad was saying, just what an ambassador for the game. And, just the plaudits are coming in from all over. Just want to talk about what a great man he was, what a great teammate, and, just what a great man he was.
Kyle, when we talk about Hank Aaron, we talk about the era that he played in and the impact he made, let's just say on race relations. Yes. You remember the home run he hit to break the record. He's running around the bases, and people that are running out into the field, just to go see him, touch him. How did he transcend an era that we, getting through Jackie Robinson, getting through the 60s and into the 70s? How did he transcend an era and change mentality in baseball?
I think a lot of it just with his play on the field and just the type of person he was off the field. He was involved in a lot of causes, but Hank was he was a quieter man. Jackie was the first to really have the platform to go out and, try to, do things for the civil rights era. But Hank was involved too in a lot of things you don't see behind the scenes, and that's the type of person he was. And, he had a big, there was a lot on his shoulders too, just to get through things. But I think he just did it more with, his play on the field and really just the type of person he was off. But I mean, he still, was involved in a lot of causes. But, he was he was a quieter gentleman. And, but he always made himself heard. And when he walked into a room, you knew it. This is Hank Aaron.
I'll always remember, and I said this on Twitter yesterday. I posted it. I was 6 years old. My dad took me to Shea Stadium to watch the Braves against the Mets. It's the first year. The Braves were in Atlanta in 1966. And I'll always remember Hank Aaron hitting that double, sliding into second base because we were sitting towards the left field, outfield, and down the first base line. And I said to Dad, I said to Dad, rest his soul, I said, "Who is that guy? I mean, he's big, he's great, he's quick." He said, "Son, you'll remember that guy because he's special, Hank Aaron." And, my father was a big baseball fanatic. Of course, he grew up rooting for the Bums. But, it's just unbelievable that, I got to see him. And one time I got to see him. And that's the only time I had a chance to go to a professional baseball game with my dad, something I've always treasured. That's why I remember it. And, he was just a man. But look at his career. That's all I got to say. And the Vince Scully call of that 715th home run is classic. It was all about – I just don't know why we all can't come together like they did. The two young white boys running down third base with him. Congratulations. I don't know why we can't just all come together, but that's another story in itself, So we'll go from there. But once again, probably in my book, the greatest baseball player ever. So let's go on. Let's talk about the Braves. So what do you got for us, the Braves?
Okay, so here's where we're at. And also want to get one more thing out. We did lose another Hall of Famer in Don Sutton, the longtime Brave broadcaster, played, 324 wins, with the Dodgers, with the Angels, part of the 82 Brewer pennant team. But, he was the sound of the summer on the radio, and he was a big part of that booth with, with Skip and the rest of the guys and for a lot of years. And, yeah, it was a shame to lose him at 75 years old. And I've listened to him a lot. So, yeah, just kind of a, it's been a tough 10 days for Braves Nation here. But on to the current 20.
Don't forget, Phil Necro, buddy.
And Phil Necro, say Nuxie. And, I mean, another great, Brave. And, I feel like we're just, losing so many of a great Hall of Fame generation. And, let's say Heaven's all-star team is just getting one bigger, it seems like, by the week. But if we look at the current Braves, just while we still have you here, few decisions we got to make. There is a hole in left field. So, but what I want to do right now, here is the lineup as we see right now if we're looking at the depth chart. Lord willing, we're going to get Mike Soroka back, and then you follow up with Max Street following up in his fantastic 2020 season. You're looking at an addition in Charlie Morton, picked up from Tampa Bay. Ian Anderson, right now you're looking at a 5 potential that could be Kyle Wright or Drew Smiley coming off some injuries, but definitely some veteran depth. I see the Braves adding some more pieces, but your lineup adds up like this. You're looking at Travis d'Arnaud behind the plate, Freddie coming off his MVP season, Ozzie Albies, and, of course, Austin Riley, Dansby, and then you're looking at Ronald Acuna in center field. Right now you got a couple of holes, and so we're going to try to figure out how to fix that. The question is, are you going to re-sign Marcell Ozuna? You know what he can do with the bat, hitting 338, good on base percentage, 431 in the shortened season. Buster Olney and a few other pundits say no, that the Braves won't go after it. He'll try to get a multi-year deal elsewhere, maybe go to the American League because we all know what his limitations are in left field. Now, they're still on the table about considering a universal DH. It has not been formally decided. I know it's been reported several different places that they're not going to use it this year. But if they do, I think it's a no-brainer. You bring it back.
That was going to be my thing is, do you think some of these dominoes will start to fall, or they're waiting for the dominoes to start to fall when that decision will be made? And is there a timetable for that decision to be made? Is that going to be made before February 16th when, pitchers and catchers, come to spring training? When is that going to – because it seems like that's going to be the one that tilts everything else going.
Nothing really surprises me. I mean, you've already seen some big signings. I know you see, George Springer's going to Toronto, and it looks like they're loading up in the AL East. I could see it happening during spring training right now because there's so many unknowns. As we know right now, everybody's going to go ahead and report at the same time. We still don't know when the season is going to start. Everything's in flux right now because of the pandemic. So it would not surprise me if if you wanted to, my thought, I think if they were to sign him, it's going to happen during spring training.
Yeah. My question is, we got everybody coming back, and you cover or you engulf yourself in a lot of baseball. Do you really think we're going to start on time, Kyle? Do you really think? I really don't think we're going to start on time. I don't think it's going to be another argument with the union, but I think they're going to let it play out a little because now we got this variant of the COVID-19 virus, and we saw what it did to Freddie Freeman. I think they're just going to wait a little longer, and that's just my opinion. How do you see it?
I feel the same way, to be honest with you, Coach. And I'm really thinking sometime in May, probably closer to Memorial Day is probably a more likely starting point. I still think you're going to see a 100-game-plus season. As of right now, if teams can go ahead and get together and I think do a proper spring training, but at the same time, I think you're probably going to see another stoppage like you did last year because there's so many unknowns right now. Vaccines are getting rolled out. But who knows how they're going to be allocated. And, right now, I just think from a safety standpoint, just for logistically speaking, we still don't know if teams are going to be able to play each other, interdivisionally, if you're going to see, more of a, regional division setup like we did last year. Wouldn't shock me. I think probably a little bit closer to Memorial Day if I were to put my money on it.
Kyle, as we look at the upcoming season, any surprises that, off season, we've had some big off season signings, but any surprise you sit there and say, hey, watch out for this team right here. They're loading more than what people think, and they're going to be way better than what people think.
Well, Right now, I mean, I think it's obvious if you want to just look, around the major leagues. I mean, San Diego's loaded up. They go out and they add, Yu Darvish, from the Cubs. And, that's a team that's really trying to go after the Dodgers. Still think that's going to be pretty tough to do because the Dodgers are still an unbelievably stacked team. But I think you're going to see Padres and Dodgers battle it out big time this season in the West. It's going to be a really fun division to watch. But, yeah, that's a team that's scary. I'm not too thrilled about it just from a fan perspective. But and you see also a lot of teams that are just kind of standing pat, but there's still a lot of big names that are out there. I mean, you look at, a guy like Trevor Bauer. I mean, the Dodgers have been sniffing around him a little bit. We'll see where he ends up after, a Cy Young season, of course, with the Reds, a team like the Chicago White Sox. That's a team that's been built around youth. They've added some pieces. They just added a closer in Liam Hendricks. And, also, JT Realmuto's still out there. I mean, can you imagine? And there's been a couple reports out there, you get a power bat and a power catcher. I mean, you look at d'Arnaud going into the last year, 2 years, $16 million. He'd be a free agent after this year. That would be pretty big to go after him, even though the Braves have some pieces in the system. But imagine a power bat and then taking away some strength from a division rival. That'd be something I'd love to see, but I don't think that's going to happen.
All right, buddy. Well, always a lot of information, a lot of fun. Here's your trivia question.
What you got?
Who holds, maybe you could answer this too, Chad, who holds the Major League record for most All-Star game nominations and playing in the All-Star game?
Well, it has to be Hank. Hank has 25.
I knew you'd be on top of it. Yeah,
I don't think the old noggin.
We talk about Joe DiMaggio's 26-game hitting streak, a 56. Okay, I still want to be 26. I'm closer to 56, but I don't think anybody is ever going to break that 25-game All-Star appearances.
No, I don't think it is. And also Hank played in a time when in the mid 60s where there were 2 All-Star games. And so that played a little. That didn't play that much of a factor because you look at how long his career was. It's unbelievable. But yeah, I don't think anybody's ever going to break that. But you brought up Jolton Joe for a second. I always thought of one quote, and it was on Ken Burns' Baseball years ago, and it was he misses out in Cleveland, on the 57th hit, and he's sitting in his locker room. He's talking to his teammates because that just cost me $10,000. What? Heinz 57. The Heinz company was going to pay me if I got that 57th hit, and I didn't get it. Yeah. So I always loved that one. But, yeah, I can't wait to keep doing this, guys. We got a lot to talk about. I mean, it's my favorite time of year, spring training. My favorite words in the English language, pitchers and catchers reports.
And you know what's my favorite?
Before we get out, though,
go ahead.
Before we get out, I got to ask you about you got your great jacket on. Jacket is classic. I mean, look at that, man. That is retro, old school, looking great. So real quick, before we got to get out of here, tell me about your Cubbies and what does your Cubbies need to do? I mean, they got some big decisions to make as well, don't they?
Absolutely. It's pretty frustrating, honestly. We let John Lester go away, $10 million buyout. We could have given him $5 million to stick around. He goes to Washington. It's a team that's retooling on the fly, but the Central's so bad. Cubs can still win the division with 85 games. I see them adding some pieces, but I have been one frustrated little Cub fan, I can tell you. And, yeah, this is my late 60s throwback jacket. I wear it all the time.
Do we want to talk about 1969? Oh, sorry.
I was negative 14, and I'm still mad about it. Don't do that to me, Coach.
Hey, as always, Kyle, let's play 2. Who said that?
Let's play 2. Mr. Cub himself, Ernie Banks.
All right, we'll play 2 another time, but I appreciate you coming on. We'll catch up with you once again. God rest his soul. Hank Aaron, one of the greatest ever.
One of the greatest ever. Thanks, guys. We'll talk again soon, getting a little bit closer to spring training, and hopefully Coach will be able to talk some Braves all throughout this season.
You got it. We got to bring back a little podcast we used to do, buddy.
Let's do it.
I don't know about you, but who's on first? I don't know.
Who's on first? I don't know. Every dollar of it. I don't know who's on third. We can do the whole bit if you want.
Hey, and yesterday's pitching. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Talk to you later, fellas.
I mean, he's got a world of knowledge. He's got a plethora of baseball information. He's a walking encyclopedia. But once again, Hank Aaron, Kyle Lawson, thank you for coming on, telling us what the Braves need to do. But waiting on deck, our favorite part of the show, the Wetherington Chiropractic Athlete of the Week. It's all right here from where?
Center Sports Universe, Coach's Corner.
Cooper George coming from Savannah Christian Prep. This kid is going to drain our questions just like he drains three-pointers. So I'm excited to talk to him. Remember, Coach and AD on the Coach's Corner Sports Network. We'll be back in 3 minutes, Cooper. We got to thank people who make this show possible. Right, Chad?
You got it. See you in 3.
It's all sports, all the time. That's Coach's Corner and Thunderbolt. Coach's Corner has been voted the best in Savannah for 20 years running, and it's no wonder why. Sports, live music, delicious and generous portions of pub food, all for our fans. No matter what the season, there's always a reason to check out Coach's Corner. It's always game time at Coach's Corner. Pick your favorite sport, pick your favorite team, and pick a TV, and Coach's Corner is your place. Coach's Corner is always open for lunch, dinner, and now breakfast, Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 10:30. But remember, Coach's Corner still has takeout service. John Harrison and Coach's Corner crew has smoked Boston butts, ribs, and chicken on the grill. You can place your order by calling Coach's Corner at 912-352-2933. That's 912-352-2933. As always, make it a night to remember at Coach's Corner.
At Calvary Day School, we want our students to be fully equipped and on the cutting edge of academics, making a difference in our world. Your child will grow academically, physically, socially, and spiritually. At Calvary, it is so good to say we are one school with one mission and one vision: faith, academics, excellence, and building champions through Christ. Calvary Day School would consider it a privilege to meet with your family personally. Call Philip Lee, Director of Admissions, at 351-2299. That's 351-2299.
Some real New York deli and Italian food? Bada bing, bada boom. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering is open at 7630 Skidaway Road in Savannah, Georgia during this social distancing problem. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering will take calls for pickup at 912-354-2914. That's 912-354-2914 on the phone. Kabish. If you want Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering goods delivered, go to savtakeout.com, savtakeout.com to place the order. Remember, Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering, we ain't New York style, we are
Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic. Your back hurts, another body part hurts all the time. It makes you mad. The pain drives you crazy. You just want to pick something up and throw it across the room? If you can. At the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic, you get complete chiropractic care and pain relief to help you move better, have a less painful life, and of course, achieve a healthier lifestyle. The Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic is now located at 2 locations in Savannah, Georgia, at 329 Eisenhower Drive and in Pooler at 114 Canal Street, Suite 603. So visit Dr. Bart Wetherington at the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic for all your chiropractic needs.
And welcome back to the Coach and AD right here live on the Coach's Corner Sports Network, all part of the Coach's Corner Sports Network. Remember, we got 4 shows. We got on Wednesday nights, Rubbin' and Grubbin', NASCAR show, Dan Foles, Brandon Brains, Lawrence Bennett. Then we got, of course, us, the Coach and AD Wednesday night update, and then Saturday night live, going back to my youth. Saturday morning live, and then we got the Hot Grids podcast with Spencer Maddox and Travis Jadon, and then, of course, the 19th hole. And we got something really big going on, which we're going to talk at the end of the show. Who's the best bowling team on the Coach's Corner Sports Network? But anyway, favorite part of the show, the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic Athlete of the Week. This kid's on fire. He averaged 22 points last week or the week before, helping the Raiders with a 3-1 record. He made 23 3-pointers and only had 6 turnovers over that period. Then he comes to me and he shoots 6 more 3-pointers, okay? But anyway, he's been playing basketball for about 5 years, only 5 years, because he's a baseball player. But he's helping his team. His coach had to say, it's a blessing, Coach Robert Walsh from Savannah Christian. It's a blessing to coach a player like Cooper. Cooper's a natural leader on the floor. He changes the expectations of the team. He's a true example of a student athlete, works at getting better no matter what he's playing, and he works off the court too. And he's already committed to play baseball at the University of Mount Olive in your neck of the woods in North Carolina. Joining us now on the Coach's Corner hot seat, the man himself, this week's Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic Athlete of the Week, senior basketball player, baseball player, athlete from Savannah Christian, Cooper George. Cooper, thanks for coming on.
Hey, thanks for having me.
I mean, big night last night also, buddy.
Yes, sir. It was a great win.
So,
you're talking about someone that's hot, man. There's not a player out there higher than you right now. I mean, let me tell you. I mean, it's been last Friday watching you was unbelievable, and then you keep it going through the week, and then you get Country Day again last night. And I don't know what it is, man. I mean, you were like that last year. I mean, I think you've come in the gym, and your range is whenever you cross half court, and it's like you're unguardable right now. What is it like when you're a basketball player? I mean, I know you're a darn good baseball player as well, and there's that time when you're in the zone as a baseball player. But what's it like as a basketball player? Do you just feel like, when it leaves your hand, it's going in? Are you just feeling that way right now?
Yes, sir. It's all confidence. My coaches, they love to put it in my head. They're just like, keep shooting. We trust you. Our team trusts you. The fans trust you. He said, just do it. You need to.
Well, you're on fire, like Coach Griffin says. And, if I had to talk to Coach Walsh, besides your prowess at shooting three-pointers, what would he tell me is your best skill besides three-pointers?
He would probably say getting teammates open. I try to, help them out as much as I help myself. Like Parker, Charles, Thomas, and Nico, those are my best friends, and I love to see them succeed just as much as I love seeing myself succeed.
Coach?
Well, and I saw that the other week. When we would come running at you, knowing it as soon as it hit your hands, we felt like it was going up. But then, so you got two people flying to you, and you just you dish it off someone else on the wing, and they hit a big shot. And so, the way you're playing right now, you're going to draw so much attention, and then you're able to recognize. I agree with Coach Walsh totally. You're able to recognize that situation and dish it to others, and they're making big shots. So it seems like all of you guys right now are just playing with a tremendous amount of chemistry and just feeling each other and understanding what everybody's role is and what they're doing and how they're doing it. But you guys are as hot as anybody right now shooting the ball and playing. So it's super fun to watch. So for me, my next question to you is, from a 5 years of playing basketball, so why only 5 years? When did it start for you?
I started playing competitively at 13. I tried out for a local middle school, H.E. McCracken in Bluffton, South Carolina. And they just asked me, they were like, do you want to come play basketball for us? I was like, I can try it. Never really done it for real. I just tried it. I made it, and I just loved it because of how fun it is. It's fast paced. You play against great athletes. You make great friends in the locker room. You just have to come together, and it helps you be a man off the court is why I like it the most.
Your other love is baseball. I mean, you signed to go play at Mount Olive College. But my question to you is, we've been talking to all these old guys that have been talking about Hank Aaron. From a young guy, still in his teens, Hank Aaron, what when that name comes up to you, what do you think about Hank Aaron?
Legend. Big legend. He's home run leader, in my opinion. I think he's a home run leader. He's a great icon for the state of Alabama and Georgia. He's a great player, and you just see how the people that I watch, see how they talk about him, how he was a great person. He was a great player. Mike Trout tweeted the other day, he said we lost the icon of baseball, and he's not wrong, in my opinion.
Cooper, as we've gone through now, we think about we're almost just a month and a half maybe away from when the pandemic really hit, almost a year. And so we look at how that has changed. And for you, being a junior last year and having pretty much your junior spring taken away, you guys were set to have a really good run in baseball. and having that taken away. And then here we're able to play. We've been fighting through the pandemic. We've been playing sports. And how we're getting into towards the last 3 weeks of basketball regular season and then getting ready to go into baseball. What are you most looking forward to as, it seems like everybody, especially when we talk to seniors, has just embraced every single minute of every practice, every game, every moment, because you guys got to see seniors last year that just, they waited their whole career to be seniors and it vanished. And so how important has it been for you guys as juniors coming through as seniors now to just relish every moment of what you're doing as your high school career?
I remember last year we were on a trip to ECI in the baseball game, and Coach Oglesby at Savannah Christian, he said, treat it like it's your last because you never know when this is going to get taken away from you. And we kind of thought of it. We were like, I don't know, like it kind of seems pretty harsh. And then right after that game hit, spring break was canceled. We were on Zoom, and it just happened so fast. And now Coach Walsh was telling us, he was like, treat it like it's your last. And now all the seniors are taking advantage. We're practicing hard. We're staying after. We're playing every game like we'll never play another one. And then baseball, they're working hard out there, and they know it could possibly happen too. So we are just treating it like we could never do it again because it's possible we couldn't.
And you're watching the Coach and AD right here on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report, all part of the Coach's Corner Sports Network, and it's always presented by Coach's Corner, the Center of Sports Universe here in Savannah, Georgia. I got to go. I'm going to put you on the spot here now. Okay, you got a baseball scholarship, and you're loving basketball. Which one's your favorite there, buddy?
I got to say baseball. I love basketball, but baseball has been my true love since I was a little kid.
So is draining a three as a great feeling as hitting a home run, or is the home run a little more thrilling?
I think draining a three is more fun. You can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, but remember another great, iconic baseball player, Ted Williams, who, of course, I'm showing my age. I got to watch play baseball. Okay, he said hitting a baseball is the hardest thing in the world. Do you agree with that, or is it harder to hit a three-pointer?
It is harder to hit a baseball, 100%.
It's all yours, Chad.
Hey, so one, I've asked all the kids this, all the student athletes this. One, from a recruiting standpoint, how difficult was recruiting going through last year and coming into this year? How much did COVID affect that? And listen, I'm from North Carolina. I went to UNC Pembroke in North Carolina. I played soccer there, so I know all about Mount Olive, where that's at. So tell me about how did Cooper George, from down here in the low country of Georgia and South Carolina, find Mount Olive, North Carolina, and find a home from a baseball perspective?
So whenever I was 14 years old, I played with a group of guys who were they were really good players. And one of the kids' dad was a roommate with a coach, or he played for a coach. And so this year during the pandemic, he called me and said, hey, have you ever thought of Mount Olive? I was like, I'm not sure. He's like, do you want to go D2? I was like, I'm open for anything. And so I went up there for a camp, and I got there, and the coaches were all about winning. I saw the national championship banners. I saw the kids who got drafted, and they sat there and told me, they were like, if you come here, we're going to win a national championship. And I'm like, and that's all I need to hear. That's my goal. I want to win a national championship with a college program. And he was a hitting guy. Like, he's all about hitting. He said, we can make great work here. And I was like, can't go wrong, right?
No, you can't. Mount Olive is one of the best Division II programs in the United States. So, even though it's up in North Carolina. Oh, sorry, Chad. But anyway, we're talking about baseball. We're talking about basketball. So your family. Up until about 5 years ago, it was baseball. Now it's basketball. Tell us how your family involvement, mom, dad, whoever, has been part of your success, whether it's on the hardwood or out there on the field.
My parents are my everything. My dad is my go-to. He's my role model. I look up to him. Any decision I make, he's who I go to first. And my mom is my best friend. We talk every day, every night about my future. And she says, do what's best for you. and they come to every game. They leave with me every game. They call me after every game, even though they're there. They ask me, how do you think you did? What do you think you could do better? So it's just having people like that help me a lot, because I know who I can go to and who I can talk to whenever something goes wrong or something goes right.
Nice.
Well, Cooper, also, you've been at a school where you've had tremendous support from coaches. I know Coach Walsh and Coach Oglesby, and they're just tremendous human beings. Talk about what it's meant to what Savannah Christian has meant to you in your development, not only as a student athlete, but just as a person in general, and what those coaches have meant to you.
Oh, they build great character in people. We do devotions. I didn't know what to expect going into that school because I've been to a public school my whole life, but I would say it's changed me a lot. I'm a lot smarter than I was, I will say. They put a good mark on you, I will say. Coach Walsh is a great guy. He's always asking me how I'm doing. He's making sure I'm doing the right thing. He's checking grades. That was the best decision I've ever made in my life, I will say.
All right, well, this is the last question from the coach. Then we got one more from the AD. I mean, you got a lot of younger kids looking up to you. You've looked up to older kids. If a younger kid at Savannah Christian came up to you and said, Cooper, what do I need to get a Division II or a scholarship, not whether it's Division II, 1 or 3, and I want to do what you're doing, what advice would you give that young Raider?
I would say make sure that you limit yourself to distractions. Distractions are the worst that could possibly happen to you. And say make sure that you work as hard as you can, because if you don't work one day, a kid that wants that spot is working harder than you. Make sure that you get a buddy to go work out with you, even if you guys don't have the same goals. Like, just influence other kids as well. But hard work is the most important thing.
Last one, Coach. Sorry, AD.
Cooper, that might have been one of the best answers we've had, man. That's just a great mindset and great answer. So talk about Mount Olive real quick. Talk about, just what is it? What do you think your role is going to be up there? Position-wise, hitting-wise, what does that look like for you as you get ready to go to the next step and go to Mount Olive?
I'm going to go right in there, and I'm going to try to be a leader from day one. I'm going to make great relationships with the teammates, because I don't know anybody yet, because I don't think there's any freshmen coming in with me. It's all JUCOs and then kids returning from last year. But I'm going to make great relationships, and I'm going to try to be a leader from day one, and whatever that takes me is where I'm going to go. I'll probably be in the outfield somewhere, either left or right. I'm going to make an immediate impact if I get the chance. If I get a chance to go play early, I'm not going to let it slip away.
Well, Cooper, thanks for coming on. And once again, unbelievable shooter. And I mean that from a coach's standpoint. I'm a little older than Coach Walsh. I've been doing this a longer time. Keep it up. I could tell when a kid's in a zone. You're in a zone. And you know what? If you miss, just try again. I know you got that same philosophy. Keep the great work. Good job with the Raiders. And once again, look forward to you getting deep in that playoff run. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Congratulations, Chad, man. Proud of you. You're just a great role model, Cooper. Keep it up, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And that's our Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic Athlete of the Week, Cooper George. Humble kid, 2 years at Savannah Christian, has made a name for himself on the basketball court, on the baseball diamond, scholarship to Mount Olive, which is one of the best Division II baseball programs in the country. So once again, you got to watch this kid play basketball because it's sweet. It's really sweet. And whenever Savannah Christian is playing, you can go to Boxcast and watch it, Chad. And I enjoyed watching that game last night. So once again, just a great team effort last night. Team win, and he was a big part of it.
Yeah, you can tell. What a mature young man. Really is. He has. You can just listen to him. The mindset. You can tell his parents have just been great role models for him. He talked about that as well, and he's got everything put together. And what a great young man. And I'm excited for him. I hope he gets a little bit cold next Friday night in Tibbet Gym. But I'm telling you, last year in Tibbet Gym, he dropped 7. And he dropped 6 in the first half. I was like, oh, my gosh, here we go again. And so he's just feeling it right now. He shoots the ball extremely well. anybody that shoots with confidence, and that's exactly what he said. I mean, you guys play with confidence in everything you do, and he does that, and it feeds off his teammates, and they're hot right now, man. That's 2 big wins, a win over Calvary and a big win over Country Day last night is huge.
All right, well, we got to go to the next step. This man's been waiting patiently in our back room. Okay, we're not at Coach's Corner, so he's not in the back office there, but he's waiting patiently. He's the, I guess, guru of Georgia high school basketball. He's been doing this for 5 years, and it's a great source if you want to find information about who's going where, who's ranked, what the standings are. He's got it all there, and that's called Sandy Spiels, but it's really Kyle Sandy, and he does a great job with it. He's going to join us next on the Coach's Corner Hot Seat. Anything you got to say? Where are we coming from?
Center Sports Universe, live at Coach's Corner.
All part of the Coach's Corner Sports Network. We'll be right back in 3 minutes, Kyle. We got to thank our sponsors.
It's all sports, all the time. That's Coach's Corner and Thunderbolt. Coach's Corner has been voted the best in Savannah for 20 years running, and it's no wonder why. Sports, live music, delicious and generous portions of pub food, all for our fans. No matter what the season, there's always a reason to check out Coach's Corner. It's always game time at Coach's Corner. Pick your favorite sport, pick your favorite team, and pick a TV, and Coach's Corner is your place. Coach's Corner is always open for lunch, dinner, and now breakfast, Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 10:30. But remember, Coach's Corner still has takeout service. John Harrison and Coach's Corner crew has smoked Boston butts, ribs, and chicken on the grill. You can place your order by calling Coach's Corner at 912-352-2933. That's 912-352-2933. As always, make it a night to remember at Coach's Corner.
At Calvary Day School, we want our students to be fully equipped and on the cutting edge of academics, making a difference in our world. Your child will grow academically, physically, socially, and spiritually. At Calvary, it is so good to say we are one school with one mission and one vision: faith, academics, excellence, and building champions through Christ. Calvary Day School would consider it a privilege to meet with your family personally. Call Philip Lee, Director of Admissions, at 351-2299. That's 351-2299.
Some real New York deli and Italian food? Bada bing, bada boom. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering is open at 7630 Skidaway Road in Savannah, Georgia during this social distancing problem. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering will take calls for pickup at 912-354-2914. That's 912-354-2914 on the phone. Kabish. If you want Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering goods delivered, go to savtakeout.com, savtakeout.com to place the order. Remember, Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering, we ain't New York style, we are
Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic. Your back hurts, another body part hurts all the time. It makes you mad. The pain drives you crazy. You just want to pick something up and throw it across the room? If you can. At the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic, you get complete chiropractic care and pain relief to help you move better, have a less painful life, and of course, achieve a healthier lifestyle. The Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic is now located at 2 locations in Savannah, Georgia, at 329 Eisenhower Drive and in Pooler at 114 Canal Street, Suite 603. So visit Dr. Bart Wetherington at the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic for all your chiropractic needs.
And good Saturday morning, people. It's the Coach and AD. We're live on the internet from the Coach's Corner. Well, we're not a Coach's Corner today, but we're live on the internet, a part of the Coach's Corner Sports Network. It's a lot of fun. And remember, I've got to thank John Henderson and Del Henderson for letting us be part of the Coach's Corner Sports Network, and it's always a lot of fun. It's basketball season. We did have a lot of games canceled last night or postponed, and you know what? I got to talk to this guy. We've talked through our text through Twitter and Facebook and all this other stuff, but he's one of the leaders, if not the leader, in high school basketball coverage in the state of Georgia. I mean, he has the rankings, the Georgia high school state rankings, the Georgia high school standings. And then you can find out where where high school basketball players are going, but he does a great job. He's been on the internet. I thought it was longer. It seems like he's been there forever, but for 5 years. So joining us on the Coach's Corner hot seat, the man that controls Sandy Spiel, sandyspiels.com, is Kyle Sandy himself. Good morning, Kyle. Nice to meet you. Thanks for coming on.
Coach AD, thank you for having me, sir. It's been too long. Like you said, we've been back and forth for a couple of years now, but I'm here.
You're here. He's here. He's in the house. I mean, just like Elvis hasn't left the house, Kyle's always in the house, no matter where he is in Georgia. So give us some background. Tell us about Kyle Sandy, where you're from, how you got into this basketball stuff. Give us a background.
Yeah, so I'm from Cherokee County originally, so about an hour north of Atlanta. So played basketball growing up in high school at Sequoia. Went to Kennesaw State, got a sport management degree. From there, I kind of got tossed into being a sports journalist at Score Atlanta. And, I really loved high school basketball because I played it. But I noticed there wasn't really like a one-stop shop, a year-round website, I felt like at least, that you could just log into and say, okay, I'm going to go on this site, and this is going to tell me everything I need to know from the top players to look for, from the top teams to look for, this, that, and the other. I felt like there wasn't really anything there, so I kind of just kicked down the door, started going to some random fall league events and tweeting stuff out, and through social media, it's been very successful, and it's grown and grown and grown, and 5-6 years later, I feel like I have a pretty decent reputation, and it's just something I'm very passionate about. It started as a passion project, and now it's grown into something that's helped me make a living. So it's always great going around to Savannah, to Macon, to the North Georgia mountains, just to see all these different kind of schools. And it's awesome giving back to the community and watching all these great young athletes really give it their all. It's been fantastic.
Well, Kyle, talk about that. You're Atlanta has become a hotbed. I mean, we always know them from a football standpoint. When you can go in Gwinnett County, you got 17 7A schools. It's just football has been amazing. But talk about the growth and development in the recruiting aspect of what's become, high school basketball in the state of Georgia, and how that's developed during your time and what you've seen the growth from that standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, recruiting, it's always a hotbed. Like you said, coming to Georgia, you find your best players, especially on the basketball side. Ask Bruce Pearl over there at Auburn. What's he always do? He comes to Georgia and he loads up and he gets all this talent. So recruiting in Georgia is always something that's going to set up your program, whether it be girls basketball or boys basketball, at the next level. And I feel like social media has become quite the tool, because especially with everything going on now with COVID, coaches aren't allowed to really be there in person. I know Division II schools can come out some, but now they're into their schedule, so they can't really be there as much. Division I, they're still on that shutdown. So looking through social media, I know a lot of these coaches follow me, and they follow a lot of other people that are scouts and do media. So word of mouth has been more important now than ever, I feel like, just because there's a finite amount of time. They can't be in every gym at once. They lost travel ball this past year. They couldn't go out and see a lot of players. So just being able to go to as many gyms, at least personally, go to as many gyms in as many different places as possible and try to put out stuff on these kids. And it's not always about hitching your wagon to the 5-star guys. That's what I always say. I'm not a 5-star guy. I don't really go to all the big-time Gwinnett County and Cobb County games because they don't need me. They don't need Kyle Sandy writing about them. Everyone knows this kid's a 5-star. Everyone knows this kid's already signed, sealed, delivered. That's why I like kind of going to the outskirts of town, maybe go to a 3A school or a 2A school. I mean, heck, I was at Sonoraville High School just last night watching a 3A basketball game. It's those kids that might be maybe a little bit more of a rural area, but maybe not even Division I players, but Division II or junior college or Division III, like fringe players. Those are the kids that really need the exposure, and especially with COVID hitting and coaches not being able to be out there, those are the kids that need as much promotion as possible. So that's why I like to kind of go to these maybe off the beaten path type schools that, when you think about Metro Atlanta, you're not thinking about these schools, but those are really the kids that really need it. Because I always say, if there's one big game in the state of Georgia and we got 50 media outlets and 48 of them are going to the exact same game. How is that helping everybody else in the state of Georgia? So that's why if there's a big game, I might be there, but there's a better chance I might not be because there's other kids that really need that exposure. Like last year, I went to the Class 2A Final Four instead of going to the Class 7A Final Four. Those are the ones that really need a little bit of a push because 7A, they got great media. They got everybody boosting them, and they're usually playing on these big-time shoe circuit teams, and they got everything. But the smaller kids, those are the ones that really need it. So that's why I like to kind of cater a little bit more towards the smaller schools.
Well, I mean, you get out and you see all these kids. You make it, like you said, it's not just 7A. It could be 1A, wherever you may be. Now, you've been traveling along, and you've seen what's going on during COVID-19. What are these buildings or these gyms like when you show up? Are there a lot of protocols, or each place have their different allotment of letting people in? How's that been working?
Yeah, every place is different. I know there's some spots. I mean, I went to a Woodward Academy game and I showed up them against Tri-Cities, and I get there and they're like, "Yeah, we're not open to spectators." I was like, "Oh crap!" Well, I'm a media member, so luckily I was able to say, "Hey, I'm doing work. I will be separate from everybody else." So I was able to get in there, but you really never know when you knock on that door and try to get in. Are they letting you in? Are you not allowed in? Luckily, I had that media side aspect of me that usually gets me through the door, but every place is different. I mean, last night, Sonoraville, you would think this is 2018. Like, it was a packed gym. There wasn't too many, protocols in place. I'll leave it at that. It felt like a regular game, and it was a great atmosphere. So, every single county, every single school district, every single school is completely different. So I've seen normal, as it's always been games, and then you go and there's nobody in the gym. So it's always very, very different. And that, it kind of, it's interesting for the kids. You might have a great home court advantage most years, but you step to the court and you see mom and dad, and that's about it. And it really changes things. So that's going to make it very interesting come state tournament time.
Well, Kyle, I'm going to ask you about. We're going to talk a little bit local Savannah teams in 3A, guys and girls. Savannah's done really well last couple of years. And we talk about Metro Atlanta and all these other places, but it seems like Savannah's got them a little niche there in 3A and have done really well. What is it about, the Savannah schools in Johnson, Savannah High, Beach, Windsor Forest now from guys and girls that you've seen that's kind of propelled them, to the top of the mountain in 3A?
I think it starts with the culture down there. I mean, there is a proud history of Savannah high school basketball. And, they're always going to have great athletes. There's great coaches down there, and they play hard. And that's usually that chip on the shoulder. And when you talk about 3A and you go below Macon and everything, that's where you got some gritty guys that they need basketball. It could take them, it could elevate their life. They could go from Savannah, they could see the world. They could go to a Division II school or Division I school. It can really help them set them up for life. So basketball, it is very big for these kids. And sometimes when you go to the bigger schools and the Gwinnett's and these other places, they got everything they need right there. It's nice living. It's all good. But, sometimes coming out of these smaller cities and everything like that, basketball, that is their passion, and they take it very seriously. And Savannah, like you said, the state championship usually always runs through Savannah on the girls' side. You've seen it with Johnson. You've seen it with Beach. And on the boys' side, Windsor has been coming strong for a long time now. Johnson's always right up there. Jenkins in years past with Bakari, they've been very good. So that proud tradition has really carried them. And, they always have great talent. And it's just, I think, that mindset of proving, hey, we're down in the South. And it's not just Savannah. It's from, Tift County. It's from everywhere down south. They say the South's got something to say. We don't get enough respect. Metro Atlanta gets all the love. We're hungry. And whether it's true or whether it's not true, they use it as motivation. And when they step on the court in the state tournament and you're playing a team from, 2 hours north of Savannah, that team better be ready because they're about to get punched in the mouth because the kids from Savannah, they got something to say.
You're watching the Karl DeMasi Sports Report, the Coach and AD, every Saturday morning on the Coach's Corner Sports Network, live, usually from Coach's Corner, the center of the sports universe. We're talking high school hoops with the guru of Georgia high school hoops, Kyle Sandy. And if you don't know about Kyle Sandy, go to sandyspiels.com, and you can find everything you want to find out about Georgia high school basketball. So, but, being a coach, and of course AD now, I've always had that same feeling. Basketball, and I'm going to say this too, volleyball, you got to recognize the southern part of the state, whether it's Savannah, whether it's down in Camden. We got some good athletes here, and football's starting to make a name for itself. Baseball's always been good. So you see the differences. Now, as far as the playoffs go, how do you think this is going to work out? Because, Chad and I have talked about the first part of the show that each school or each region is going to do their own thing. Have you heard anything throughout the state, what they're planning on doing?
Oh, yeah. As far as the region tournaments go, like you said, everything's different. Some are not having one. Some are getting rid of buys and making it go as quickly as possible, or consolidating locations or spreading it out. Every single region is completely different. So it's going to be very challenging just to kind of wrap your head around, okay, this region's doing this region's doing that, because each region, some of these regions are, all in the same location. Some are all in the Savannah region, but you got other regions where you got a team an hour and a half away that you're having to deal with. Like a Dalton is in a region or they've been in a region with a Sequoia in years past. So it's so spread out. And when you travel an hour away, it's like a completely different world sometimes. They might be saying, oh, masks aren't a big deal. It's, it's not mandatory, but you could come down here and say, yeah, you better mask up and no fans are allowed. So there's a lot of give and take. ADs, I know you got a lot to deal with. It has not been fun to be a schedule maker this year. It's just been a nightmare. I've even had some events this year, and it's, you're just trying to piece it all together and make it all work. But it's going to be very, very interesting to see how each region kind of plans things out, because there is not one set guideline that everyone's going to run by. And I'm very interested to see how that kind of affects what teams we see make it into the state tournament, because we always see upsets in the region tournament, and maybe we'll see more of those, maybe we'll see less of those. And I really feel like at this point in the game, it's which team is the healthiest might be the one that wins the state title.
All right, Chad, last question. We got our next guest waiting. Throw it right at him. See if you can hit a 3-pointer against him.
Now, I was going to ask him, you've been covering and doing this for what class is probably the deepest from a basketball standpoint? Like, I look at Class A private girls. I would take Hebron, Wesleyan, St. Francis, and those top 4 teams, and I think we could put them almost against anyone in the state, any classification. I mean, what do you think is one of the deepest, classes there is here in the state of Georgia?
Yeah, especially on the girls' side, A private, like you said, they're always the best. Wesleyan, Hebron's great. Holy Innocents, St. Francis, Mount Perrin has come up this year. They've been very good. Green Forest has 6'4" girls inside. There's always a lot brewing. But really, Class 6A on the girls' side is hands down the best. You have Westlake that's won over 101 straight games, one of the best teams nationally. They're phenomenal. Buford with Coach Gene Durden, they win state championships every year. They're in that classification. Langston Hughes has been coming on strong. Lovejoy has won state titles in recent memory. Sprayberry has a girl named Flaugier Johnson who just had 47 points and 7 assists in the game. It is absolutely ridiculously loaded. It's not even close in Class 6A. Carrollton girls are phenomenal with Damari Flournoy going to Vanderbilt. Legit, you have about 5 state title contending teams right there. And it's crazy because Westlake, I don't know how anyone's going to beat Westlake. Since Raven Johnson, who's going to be an All-American if she hasn't already been named one, but she's a 5-star. She's like the best player in the nation. She's going to South Carolina. She hasn't lost a game since she was a freshman, and she's a senior now, and they've dominated. It would be one of the biggest upsets ever for them to not win a 4th straight state title. This literally is possibly the greatest dynasty we've seen in at least the 21st century in the GHSA with how good Westlake has been. But they're going to have to go through teams like Buford and Carrollton. So they're going to have to see really good teams, but they have just bashed great teams. I mean, they just beat number 1 Forest Park, who has a 6'4" South Carolina girl, and Sanaya Fagan. They beat them 70-34, and it wasn't even close. So Westlake girls, if you haven't seen them, I know it's far away, but that team is just ridiculously amazing, and they're going to be in the state title. And if they're not, whoever beat them, just give them the title because that's phenomenal.
Well, Sandy, I appreciate you coming on, and I know we could probably do this for an hour, 2 hours, but keep up the great work. I love following what you're doing. Remember, it's sandysspiel.com if you want more information about Georgia high school basketball. Appreciate it. Nice meeting you. We got to meet in person next time.
Sounds good. Nice talking to you guys.
Let us know when you hit the Savannah area.
Yes, sir. I will be back. Trust me, I will be back.
Chad?
Nah, man, just great meeting you. Great to have you. Been following you on Twitter for a long time now, and great job. Thanks for promoting high school sports like you do.
Thank you, sir.
And it's girls or boys, Chad.
That's right.
Great job. Great guy. Loves high school basketball. Remember, sandyspiels.com. Go check it out. High school rankings, signings, where people are going, transfer, you name it. That young man does a great job. He's been doing it 5 years. It seems like he's been here forever. We call John Nelson the guru of high school football. Well, Kyle Sandy can give him a run for the money. Next up, this man's got a lot of baseball experience. He's covered baseball, or he's been a sports reporter for 44 years. He's my go-to guy. No other way than to talk about Hank Aaron, and that's Kevin Kernan from now. Let me get it right. Baseline.com, or is it baseball? He'll tell me. I always mess it up. But he's been doing a great job. I'm glad he could be here. So he's up next. 3 minutes, Kevin. We'll be right back. You're listening to Coach and AD on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report, live from the center of the universe, sports universe, Coach's Corner. It's all part of the Coach's Corner Sports Network. All right. Give me a break. 3 minutes. Here we go.
It's all sports, all the time. That's Coach's Corner and Thunderbolt. Coach's Corner has been voted the best in Savannah for 20 years running, and it's no wonder why. Sports, live music, delicious and generous portions of pub food, all for our fans. No matter what the season, there's always a reason to check out Coach's Corner. It's always game time at Coach's Corner. Pick your favorite sport, pick your favorite team, and pick a TV, and Coach's Corner is your place. Coach's Corner is always open for lunch, dinner, and now breakfast, Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 10:30. But remember, Coach's Corner still has takeout service. John Harrison and Coach's Corner crew has smoked Boston butts, ribs, and chicken on the grill. You can place your order by calling Coach's Corner at 912-352-2933. That's 912-352-2933. As always, make it a night to remember at Coach's Corner.
At Calvary Day School, we want our students to be fully equipped and on the cutting edge of academics, making a difference in our world. Your child will grow academically, physically, socially, and spiritually. At Calvary, it is so good to say we are one school with one mission and one vision: faith, academics, excellence, and building champions through Christ. Calvary Day School would consider it a privilege to meet with your family personally. Call Philip Lee, Director of Admissions, at 351-2299. That's 351-2299.
Some real New York deli and Italian food? Bada bing, bada boom. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering is open at 7630 Skidaway Road in Savannah, Georgia during this social distancing problem. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering will take calls for pickup at 912-354-2914. That's 912-354-2914 on the phone. Kabish. If you want Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering goods delivered, go to savtakeout.com, savtakeout.com to place the order. Remember, Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering, we ain't New York style, we are
Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic. Your back hurts, another body part hurts all the time. It makes you mad. The pain drives you crazy. You just want to pick something up and throw it across the room. If you can, at the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic, you get complete chiropractic care and pain relief to help you move better, have a less painful life, and of course, achieve a healthier lifestyle. The Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic is now located at 2 locations in Savannah, Georgia, at 329 Eisenhower Drive and in Pooler at 114 Canal Street, Suite 603. So visit Dr. Bart Wetherington at the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic for all your chiropractic needs.
And welcome back, sports fans, to the Coach and AD on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report, live every Saturday morning, usually from Coach's Corner, but now we're doing a little social distancing, so we're all part of the Coach's Corner Sports Network. We lost, in my opinion, the greatest ball player ever, And I'm a big Willie Mays fan, and I'm a big Yankee fan, Joe DiMaggio and everybody else. But I'm telling you right now, I had to get someone on with a little more authority than I do. I mean, he spent 44 years writing sports, 23 years at the New York Post. Now he's writing for ball9.com. He did a highlight of the Savannah Bananas last summer, but he's joining us now on the Coach's Corner hot seat. And I know he's going to be in the hot seat because we got to get him out of here quick. He's got another interview to do right after this, but does a great job. Check it out, ball9.com. Kevin Kernan, thanks for joining us. He's right here now. Kevin, how's it going?
It's going great. It's great to be on with you guys. Always fun, and that was a really interesting guest. The guy was locked in on the Georgia High School Sports Network.
I mean, if you want to find out basketball information, that guy Kyle Sandy is your man. I mean, he actually goes, Kevin, from gym to gym to see different schools, no matter what classification. You can find him on a Friday night, Friday afternoon, Saturday afternoon, Saturday night at somebody's gym, and probably Tuesday nights too. So he does a great job. So once again, Chad, you got something for our baseball guru?
Well, I'm just looking through once again. I know we've had him on. I'm looking through his repertoire here and his resume, and I've been watching again, rewatching The Last Dance, and he says in here, "Yes, that's me with the worm." On episode 10, so I had to go back and watch it. So I brought up episode 10 and watched that clip. What an experience, man. What in the world was that like being around, Dennis Rodman at that time?
Well, I was around, I covered the NBA, covered the NFL. I was with the New York Post in the early 80s. I went out to California for 10 years in San Diego. And so I've covered it all. I've been a beat writer on all three major sports. And not only, Rodman, Magic Bird, I'm hanging out in the Marriott by the pool with Larry Bird before they played Magic Johnson, So back then you had unbelievable access. And that's the best thing I can say about it. Those guys, and I got along great with Dennis Rodman because he was a very smart guy. He put on this image of being a whack job a little bit, but he knew exactly what he was doing. He was my go-to guy for quotes after games, and that specific incident with The Last Dance, I'm actually, the other writers were waiting somewhere else for him. I knew he came out the back door, so I got him, and all I can say is that question stood the test of time because they didn't leave many original questions on in that great documentary. But at the time, I asked Dennis that night. I said, "Hey, are you guys the greatest team of all time?" This is after the 6th title. And Dennis, being Dennis, gave me the great answer saying, "Of course we are. If you don't know that, you must be doing drugs." And coming from Dennis at that point in time was what it was all about. And again, like your previous guest, my job was different then because I only had like 20 minutes to get interviews, and then I had to go run and write my column within a half hour. So it was a great time to be covering the NBA. Had a lot of good times. And also, baseball. I've been everywhere with baseball. I was at the Kirk Gibson home run, Aaron Boone home run. You name it, I've been there. And it's been a lot of fun. And, of course, you mentioned Hank Aaron. We can get into Hank, too. But I went to the Hall of Fame every year for many, many years, and I still do until it got canceled this year. And at ball9.com, I address all this stuff. We have columns in there that are just phenomenal, in-depth stuff you're not getting nowadays. I mean, they're 2,500-word columns, and I have great relationships with athletes. I still call them, and they call me back. And just a small little example, I talked to Jerry Naron about a week ago on what it was like when he had to replace Thurman Munson that night. And Jerry is the catcher whisperer. He's now working for different teams. He's the one who coached McCann, the Mets' new catcher, last year, made him into a framing guru. Darryl Strawberry talked to me at length the other day about where he is with everything in his life and God. So go to ball9.com and you'll find something different.
I know, and I've been following along, and I said baseball 9, but it's ball9.com. And you can catch up with Kevin, and they're in depth. They really are in depth. And He did a great job with the Savannah banners. But let's go back to why I really want you to come on here. And I saw these players who are passing away left and right because it's my youth. Okay, and Hank Aaron's I've always been fascinated because, like I told Chad early in the show, 7 years old or 6 years old, sitting in Shea Stadium, 1966, and remember him sliding into second base, and my dad saying to me, "That guy's special. You're going to hear his name." And sure enough, 1974, he hits the 715th home run of his career, breaks Babe Ruth's record. But I mean, you got to have a little more connection with this man. Dignity, class. Yes, he's trying to bring people together, whether they're white, black. He wants everybody to come together. Tell us about Hank Aaron and what he's meant to you, because you've seen him more than anybody else that I know of.
Yeah, Hank was just a great gentleman. That's the way I would describe him. Great hitter. And I think there's a combination. I'm a little older. I'm 67, so I saw him come up through and how great he was. And just like him as a hitter, I want to make this clear because, I deal with the baseball stuff. To me, to play baseball the right way, you need to use all fields. You need to hit to all fields. You need to be able to run. You need to be able to throw. And Hank did all that. And if you watch some of the clips, how he would take balls to right center and hit them, he made the most of his talents by using everything that's available on the field. And I would bring that over to life as well, because he just like hitting all fields, he dealt well with all people. I remember one story I did with him. Up at the Hall of Fame, they had a new Hank Aaron exhibit, and they let me walk around the exhibit with him, just me and him, for like a half hour. And he was just telling me individual things that he remembered from those incidents, and it was just amazing hearing it right from his mouth. But he was such a the guiding light of all the Hall of Famers. He was the king, but he never acted like the king. And the other Hall of Famers, when you see, Bob Gibson, Sandy Koufax, these guys revere a guy like Hank Aaron, that tells you all you need to know about him. He was the greatest as a player and the greatest as a person. And not surprisingly, that was his goal. He always said he wanted people to say about him, he not only was a terrific ball player, which he was, but a terrific person, which he was. So he was just, to me, 86 years old. I know a lot of people are sad, and it is sad, but you got to look at his life, too. He had 86 great years of what he did for baseball. He loved playing in Milwaukee. Don't forget the Braves moved there, and they really were beloved by the fans, and that was a great spot for him. And I know he played in Jacksonville, too, if you remember. One of his first years in the minors was in Jacksonville, and the manager there, I can't think of his name right now, but Garrity, I think was his name. He did a lot for Hank and really got him going. And like Hank said, I think his great quote about, and back then it's a much different South. And he said, I led the league in everything but accommodations, so, so he kind of rolled with everything, and that was another great thing about Hank. He wasn't a bitter man. And maybe that's the best way to put it.
Chad?
Yeah, when we're talking about, I'm obviously younger, and as a grown up a Braves fan, you knew what kind of legend Hank Aaron was and what he meant to Atlanta Braves and the organization and things of that nature. But for him in general, and like Carl's talked about, bridging the gap between, it seems like, two generations of baseball, and seeing that take place as I was growing up, it was, for me, monumental. Like, I was much younger, but I know Hank Aaron as the ambassador of baseball. Can you talk about what he has meant to the game of baseball outside of his play, and what his legacy will entail as it goes forward from that standpoint?
Well, if you really want to, I think the best description of Hank Aaron, not only as a player, but it comes back to Vin Scully, and I've known Vin forever. We've been friends. If you go to my AMBS_Kernan, KERNAN on Twitter, the first pinned tweet you will see will be me and Vin together. But I think if you go to that clip of the 715, the home run, Vin put it perfectly when he, first of all, he hits the home run, breaks the record, so that puts him in a separate category. But Vin also put it in perspective about what it meant for Hank and what a great person he was and what it meant for America too. You know, he brought people together and he did it his whole life. Bud Selig just loved Hank Aaron because of the Milwaukee connection, of course, but and the Braves connection. But from Hank going to the South and if you see the other great thing about that clip is the fans running on the field just wanting to be part of the story, you know. And I believe I read something where both those guys, believe it or not, the fans that met him near third base, I think they grew up to become doctors or whatever. So you see him hugging his family. You see everything what that's the joy of baseball. And I think in many ways the game has lost all of that simply because of the way they go about the game. He was the greatest home run hitter of all time. You know, you put an asterisk on Mr. Bonds, which I would do. But Hank Aaron, the greatest home run hitter of all time, was also a great player. We need more of that in baseball, and on every level. You know, you go to showcases, you see these things, these grip and rip guys. It's got to change. It's got to change. Baseball's got to get back to being the great sport it is. And the legacy of Hank Aaron will be that he brought people together. He made the game fun. He broke records. And he did it in a very he was not a very humble way, and that's really special. You know, I remember once when I first interviewed Muhammad Ali, I sat next to Muhammad Ali at a luncheon, and I was a little nervous because I was a young writer. But to me, Ali was, you know about Ali and the way he was with the mouth that roared. But when you talk to him, he was very insightful, and then you sit with a guy like Hank Aaron, and you get the same feeling. So that's really a great testimony to who Hank was, and the fact that he would spend time with just an writer or whatever like me. So it's great. It was great times.
And you're watching Coach and AD on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report every Saturday morning from the Coach's Corner Sports Network and from Coach's Corner. But today we're just taking a little break from that. We're talking to Kevin Kernan, 44 years writing sports, 23 with the New York Post. 9 years out there in San Diego. And if I got my notes here, the Union Tribune, and he also did his own radio show. So a lot of connections. We're talking about Hank Aaron and his experiences with Hank Aaron. It amazes me. And I watched the Bob Costas interview with Hank Aaron last night on the MLB channel. And I think Hank Aaron hit it on the nose. We got to make the game more fun for the youth of America. And I'm telling you right now, you experienced it last summer. The Savannah Bananas have a good idea how to make this game more fun. Do you think that'll ever catch on?
No, because baseball's too stupid. MLB is too stupid. That's one of the things, as you know, I call it like I see it, and that's what that's what I write for the fans. I don't write for baseball. I'm not one of these guys you're going to see kissing their butt all the time. And if they do something good, I'll tell them. But they've gone, the nerds. Actually, my shirt here at ball9.com, we also have some neat shirts, and this one's over nerdy, and that's what has happened to baseball. Baseball has gotten so numbers oriented that it's gotten away from the game, the athletes, and just a small little story. Shows you where we're at. We all know Theo Epstein. Theo left the Cubs. I knew Theo was assistant PR guy in San Diego. So I've known him forever. And he did a great job, obviously, Red Sox and Cubs. But, he had a lot of help along the way. A lot of people made good decisions for him that enabled him to win championships. And so what does he do? He leaves baseball, he leaves the Cubs, and comes out with that great statement, which I totally agree with. Got to make the game more fun, just what we were just talking about. Got to get action back in the game. Got to get athletes back in the game. Guys who put the ball in play. Well, I was in Daytona Tortugas earlier this year, the minor league club, and they have a wall of all the players who played there that went on to the show. Wouldn't you know it, DJ LeMahieu, who does all those things, is on that wall. DJ was on the Cubs, was in the organization, and he was traded to the Rockies for Ian Stewart in like 2011-ish. But it was like Theo's first trade when he came to Chicago. So the irony is Theo's calling, we need to have this, and yet he got rid of a player like LeMahieu. And bad trades happen, I get it. But they're so locked into the numbers and looking at numbers and the computer. They got their head in the computer and they're not watching a game. I was on a Yankee trip once years ago, and they had their number one geek on the trip with the team. And during batting practice, he always had his face in the computer. And I walked by him one day and I said, hey, I just got a question for you. We don't know each other. I introduced myself. I said, do you ever watch batting practice? Do you ever watch baseball? And he got real, you know, he didn't like the question, obviously, and I don't blame him. I kind of put it right to him. But that's where we're at. And these are the guys making all the decisions on the team. And that's why I'm pulling for a guy like Derek Jeter, who has brought, has brought some common sense back to baseball. And I want to see teams like that do well. Real quickly, how about the World Series, Game 6? And you guys, if you're whatever sport you coach, and Carl, you know baseball well. If your pitcher is throwing a shutout, striking out like 9 guys, has grown, you can see the growth. If you know baseball, Blake Snell was a much different pitcher in that game, Game 6, than he was in his earlier start. He learned, and that's how you get better in baseball. Yet the nerds, and Kevin Cash was a catcher. That's what kills me about this. Could you imagine if you take Kevin Cash, the manager, and put him in 2 places at that moment? You make him Kevin Cash, the catcher, and he goes out to the mound and says, and so Kevin Cash, the manager, what do the managers always do? They talk to the catcher when they go out there. Hey, how's he looking? How's he doing? What do you think? You're going to get through this. Kevin Cash, the catcher, would have fought like hell for Blake Snell to stay in that game. But Kevin Cash, the manager, because he's running by the nerds, pulls him out. They lose the series. At the time, I wrote, Blake Snell will never pitch for the Rays again, because anybody who knows anything about athletes know they will be so disgusted with the organization. He doesn't want to pitch for that organization. And in early December, I wrote at ball9.com, and we're ahead of the pack a lot. I wrote he will be traded to the Padres for prospects, because I knew the Padres wanted to really beef up their pitching. And once Clevenger got hurt, it made perfect sense. So I connected all the dots, and lo and behold, that's what happened. So that's where we are in baseball today. We need to get, as simple as it sounds, baseball needs to get back to being baseball.
Hey, I can understand that because I lived it for 6 years with my son in the minor leagues. And he would tell me everything is about statistics. Everything's about evaluation and what the radar gun puts up, or what this calculation means, or how many times the ball rotates in this. How many times the ball rotates? You're throwing strikes. What does it matter? But yeah, I understand thoroughly. I got one last question, and Chad, you can throw one at him. Okay, Kevin Kernan, the sports writer, the baseball fanatic, loves baseball. Who would be your greatest player ever?
Well, I love Mickey Mantle from a personal standpoint, and I loved what he did. And again, I'm so old school. I go with Babe Ruth simply because of what he pitched. He was a great pitcher, the greatest. He could have been the greatest pitcher of all time. So Babe Ruth changed the game in some ways. To me, he's the greatest player of all time. And then I would go, I would probably Hank Aaron's right behind him. If Hank pitched too, maybe I'd have him number 1. Certainly, but certainly as a player, what Hank could do, he was the equal to Babe Ruth and surpassed him with the home runs. And then probably Willie Mays, and then rounding out, you got to have Mickey Mantle in there just simply because of who Mickey Mantle changed baseball for. He made baseball like the coolest sport in the world, in the 50s. He was baseball. It was funny last night, and I'll keep it brief, but I was doing some research on Hank because I'm going to write about him today for Ball 9 for tomorrow. And I found on Prime Video the 1955 and 1956 Milwaukee Braves highlight film. It was unbelievable. It had unbelievable pictures and film of Hank playing and other players, and the joy of those games with the fans going to the games and the moms, the dads, the sisters, the brothers. It's kind of like on a much smaller scale, the Savannah Bananas. I was on a radio show in New York the other day, and I mentioned, because they talked about MLB and fans. I said, it's ridiculous that fans aren't at the ballpark. Ridiculous. I said, right from the start, the season would play. They get the games in because they needed the money. I said, on September 3rd, I went to a Savannah Bananas game with 2,000 other people. Everybody was fine. They had the temperature checked. They did all the stuff they needed to do. It was baseball. It was fun. Why can't, if a independent minor league team can figure this out, why can't baseball figure it out? And that gets back to your other question, because the guys, and I feel for your son and so many players like that. I've talked to Mike Piazza about this. I've talked to many players about this. This day and age, they wouldn't even get a look because these guys are buried in their stats and their spin rate, which is the biggest joke of all time. It's not going to end. It's only going to end badly. And mark my words here, fellas. If baseball continues to go down this path, I could see another major league. It wouldn't be as good, obviously, but I could see another league filling that gap. And what they've done to the minor leagues is disgraceful as well. At the end of spring training, a scout told me this the other day. At the end of spring training this year, just because of the way the numbers are, and nobody realizes this yet, at the end of spring training, 1,000 kids are going to lose their job. 1,000. And those 1,000 kids are going to be sent to the minor leagues. And those 1,000 kids are going to push out another 1,000 kids. So some good players are going to be lost in the process. And in that film, I watched the Braves the other day. They actually had in Georgia, they had it was called the Wigwam, where all their minor league players played. And they had the best complex you could imagine, and they had the best minor leagues. And if they knew that in 1954, and of course 1957, I believe they won the World Series, they became a powerhouse. That's what baseball needs to get to more minor leagues, not less, and let these guys play more and let them play baseball and let the pitchers learn to stretch themselves out. And, there's a million things I could say about that. I got a million stories, but I know we're limited on time, but that's basically it.
Chad?
My last thing was, is there a modern day baseball player that you look at, or a couple modern day baseball players that you look at that are throwbacks that you could put them in any decade and be like, that guy right there could play this generation to any other generation that you would see?
Yeah, there's a lot of them, and that's a great thing about the game if they let them play. And I just mentioned when LeMahieu's that player. I'm going to give you a quick story about LeMahieu. I was in a Yankee camp this year, and I didn't go on the road when they played on the road, and I stayed back. So LeMahieu gets done hitting with his group, and a lot of the regulars stayed back, and I'm kind of like 10 feet away from him. So another outfielder comes over to him after the group hits and says, "Hey, DJ, let's go in the outfield and shag, hang out, talk a little, And DJ looks at him and goes, "I've got work to do." And he went to second base, took another 20 minutes of balls, third base, another 20 minutes. So guys like that can definitely do it. I think a guy like Acuna, could be that kind of player if they kind of focus on the right things and get the right coaching to him. Juan Soto, I'm a big believer in Juan Soto. But see, here's one thing I want to say, and this is pretty technical, but they got Juan Soto so into the numbers of walking and all that stuff. He's so good. He's got such a great eye that he takes a lot of pitches that he could crush if he would just crush them the other way. But because they teach a different way now, that's not happening. And even Hank Aaron talked about that. He got better when he figured out, if I can handle this pitch, I'm going to hit it. I hit my pitch, but my pitch may be off the plate a little bit, but I'm going to hit it. So every team has those players. I mean, I look at the, I mentioned LeMahieu with the Yankees, with the Mets. Jacob deGrom could pitch in any year. I mean, he's that kind of he's an old school guy. He doesn't lift weights like these idiots that lift too many weights. They do everything in the weight room instead of spending time on the baseball field, becoming better baseball players. And next week, one of the stories I'm going to write too is I talked to Ron Darling, the great broadcaster and former Met, about some of the key things he did that he was taught from pitchers from the previous generation that his whole rotation was taught, and lo and behold, the previous rotation of the Mets did not have injuries through the years. And it all goes back to a special trainer. And this is a story nobody's really heard, so I'm not going to say the whole thing right here, but it'll be in ball9.com next week, and it'll be a real interesting baseball story.
And I just got to – I know quickly because I know you got to go somewhere else. But here's the truth. Like you said, baseball, overthinking it, let's shift. Well, how about teach your batters, your ball players, to hit where they're not? But we don't do that.
I covered Tony Gwynn for many years. Tony would hit 400 easy, if they ever shifted on him. And if they shifted on him to such a degree where they covered the 5-6 hole, he'd hit 30 homers. And he would just take what they give him, and hitters need to do that. But here's the key, and this is the essence of what I'm going to say, and I want everybody to listen carefully. This is why they don't do it. They don't do what the stuff you say. Because the guys in charge, there's so many levels of management now. Each one is trying to improve, like Jared Porter with the Mets. I didn't know Jared Porter, so I don't know that situation was really bad. But I'm thinking to myself, I don't know this guy, and I've been in the game forever. And I did a little research, and there were some things about loyalty I heard I didn't like. But yet this guy's being pushed for every GM job in the world by all I call media empower writers, because they probably get information from these guys, and these GMs or assistant GMs don't really know the game, and that's the key. They got to go by the numbers. They got to speak the language that they speak with the new terms, which are really old terms, just refabricated. But they only do that because they can't see it, and the teams that can't see it, and what are the Dodgers are doing? How about Mookie Betts being traded? Is there a dumber thing in baseball in the last 20 years? Mookie Betts is the kind of player you want forever. And he was the 174th pick at the 2011 draft, a great draft. And but the Dodgers are doing those things. They're doing baseball things now, and they won a World Series. Every year the team that wins the World Series is usually doing baseball things. And that goes, that tells you a lot about where the game is at and where it's going. So I'm just hoping the pendulum is swinging a little bit. I hope it swings back a little more, and we have a chance. I think some more baseball people are being hired, but at the same time, I can't tell you how many of my scout friends and people in organizations are done. They're out of the game now. They just want to let them stay. So baseball needs to kick up baseball guys and keep the assistant GMs and the guys that used to get coffee and do the numbers, keep them locked away somewhere safe.
All right. I know you got to get out of here. We could continue this for about another 5 hours, but I appreciate you coming on, Kevin. Kevin Kernan from ball9.com. Also, of course, my neck of the woods, New York Post, and then at the Union Tribune in San Diego. When you're in Savannah next time, we got to meet up and we got to do that Savannah Bananas thing, and we'll talk about some more baseball. And we'll get the AD, who's also a baseball buff, involved too.
Sounds great. Always a pleasure being with you guys. Give me a call anytime.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
Kevin Kernan. I mean, what more you want? 44 years of sports writing, NFL, NBA, pro baseball, New York Mets, out in San Diego with the Padres. I mean, he knows what he's talking about. And, we got to make the game more fun. And Hank Aaron had said that on that show I was watching last night with Bob Costas. You just got to make the game more fun.
Well, what I love about Kevin is he's like, hey, I don't work for Major League Baseball. I work,
Stupid.
It's kind of like it is, and it's true. I mean, you sit there, it drives me crazy. And I mean, Hayes plays baseball, and we're sitting there watching a Major League Baseball game. And they got the shift on. And Hayes is like, Dad, why don't they just bunt it down the third base line and take the hit? Why don't they just take it the other way? Because they have this shifts, so they're going to pull. Why are they still pulling the ball? Why don't they just take it down and take the hit and take the base? I was like, buddy, I said, that's just modern day baseball. He's like, well, that's just not very smart. I was like,
all right, we're gonna need a break. We're gonna come back in 3 minutes. We're gonna make up the stuff we missed because there's a lot of news that we didn't talk about when we took 3 steps in the door. We never get through the 3 steps in the door. Then we're gonna take 3 steps out the door. This young man gets to grill the old guy. We'll be right back. It's the Coach and AD on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report every Saturday morning from the center of the sports universe. Coach's Corner and the Coach's Corner Sports Network. We got to thank these people. We'll be back in 3 minutes.
It's all sports, all the time. That's Coach's Corner and Thunderbolt. Coach's Corner has been voted the best in Savannah for 20 years running, and it's no wonder why. Sports, live music, delicious and generous portions of pub food, all for our fans. No matter what the season, there's always a reason to check out Coach's Corner. It's always game time at Coach's Corner. Pick your favorite sport, pick your favorite team, and pick a TV, and Coach's Corner is your place. Coach's Corner is always open for lunch, dinner, and now breakfast, Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 10:30. But remember, Coach's Corner still has takeout service. John Harrison and Coach's Corner crew has smoked Boston butts, ribs, and chicken on the grill. You can place your order by calling Coach's Corner at 912-352-2933. That's 912-352-2933. As always, make it a night to remember at Coach's Corner.
At Calvary Day School, we want our students to be fully equipped and on the cutting edge of academics, making a difference in our world. Your child will grow academically, physically, socially, and spiritually. At Calvary, it is so good to say we are one school with one mission and one vision: faith, academics, excellence, and building champions through Christ. Calvary Day School would consider it a privilege to meet with your family personally. Call Philip Lee, Director of Admissions, at 351-2299. That's 351-2299.
Some real New York deli and Italian food? Bada bing, bada boom. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering is open at 7630 Skidaway Road in Savannah, Georgia during this social distancing problem. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering will take calls for pickup at 912-354-2914. That's 912-354-2914 on the phone. Kabish. If you want Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering goods delivered, go to savtakeout.com, savtakeout.com to place the order. Remember, Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering, we ain't New York style, we are
Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic. Your back hurts, another body part hurts all the time. It makes you mad. The pain drives you crazy. You just want to pick something up and throw it across the room. If you can, at the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic, you get complete chiropractic care and pain relief to help you move better, have a less painful life, and of course, achieve a healthier lifestyle. The Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic is now located at 2 locations in Savannah, Georgia, at 329 Eisenhower Drive and in Pooler at 114 Canal Street, Suite 603. So visit Dr. Bart Wetherington at the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic for all your chiropractic needs.
And welcome back to the Coach and AD on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report, Saturday morning live, always from the Center of Sports Universe, Coach's Corner. Little sabbatical today. We're at home, social distancing. So once again, I'm glad you could join us, whether it's for 5 minutes, 15 minutes, or your favorite segment for your athlete of the week or for somebody that you want to listen to. And it's a lot of fun. Mr. Griffin, we've gone 1 hour and 53 minutes. Where does the time go when we do this?
Well, one, when you bring on the type of guests that we have that you lined up for us, man, what a great lineup we had today. And we have a great lineup every week, but kick off with Kyle Lawson and I mean, Lord, man, we're going to talk longer than normal when we talk to Kyle about baseball and everything else that's going on. Then what a great time with Cooper Georgia, our student athlete of the week, and Wetherington Chiropractic athlete of the week. He was awesome, phenomenal to talk to, and then Kyle Sandy, get to talk about high school hoops and everything going on and his background in it, and then you add the fourth guy to it who we had to get on. I mean, what a great, just a novel of information. And now I got to get on his website more and read more of his stories, especially with what he's got coming out this week. And so, I mean, it's just a great lineup, man. We're going to be 2 hours into this, but it just seemed like we started just 10 minutes ago.
And once again,
we ain't got to Savannah Banana stuff yet. We ain't got to talk Savannah Banana stuff.
like I said, it's just phenomenal. And I was told that there's no sports to talk about in Savannah, Georgia. But you know what? We can talk about a lot of sports in Savannah, Georgia, and it's just not football or basketball. There's other things going on. We need to talk about it. So we usually take 3 steps into the show, 3 steps in the door, then we go 3 steps out the door at the end. So we didn't get to finish 3 steps in the door because we had a time slot that people had to go and had to leave. Like Kevin Kernan had to be out of here because he's going to be on some show at 11 o'clock. So we're going to go back. Remember, we had a lot of basketball. Well, we didn't have a lot of basketball. A lot of basketball was canceled last night. We talked about that. But we got to touch on college sports. So if we go to college sports, remember, Savannah State is still not – this would be step number 2 in the door. High school, college, pros. Savannah State is still not back on the basketball court. SEAC is still waiting to make a decision on when they're going to play. Their indoor track has started. So I don't know why we can't play basketball, but the track has started in the SEAC. Got to send out a kudos to the Lady Tiger softball program. They're ranked 6th in Division II in the historic Black College University rankings. The Lady Tigers got a lot coming back. That'll be fun when they're allowed to play. Then, of course, we got a lot of college basketball. The Georgia men finally got the monkey off their back. They beat Kentucky for the first time in 14 years the other night, 63-62. Got to take on a tough Florida team in Athens. The Georgia women, hey, they're 12-4. They lost to the SEC's number 1 team, South Carolina, the other night. They'll come back on Monday night and take on number 15, Arkansas. Georgia Southern men doing a great job over there. They're 10-6, 4-3 to Sun Belt. They played last night, and they beat Southern Alabama 84-75. Sun Belt comes back and plays the next day. They'll take them on at 5 o'clock at Southern Alabama. The Georgia Southern women, I think we might have been a jinx for Coach Howard because since she's been on a show, they're on a 4-game losing streak. They lost last night, 59-58 in Hannah Fieldhouse up there in Statesboro. That's going to be a tough one. They'll come back and play them today at 4 o'clock. Hey, Georgia Tech, men and women are really doing good. Georgia Tech, 7-3. Chad, I think against Clemson the other night, I watched some of the game, who was number 20 in the Division I. They shot like 61% from three-point range. And they blew out Clemson. 83-65. Well, they take on UAV today, University of Virginia, number 13 in college basketball. So they'll do that. And the women are 7-3. They're 5th in the ACC. They're 3rd in the ACC. They'll take on Florida State tomorrow at 1 o'clock. So college baseball is supposed to kick off February 19th. I found that Georgia Southern will take on number 19 Tennessee as they come to Statesboro. UGA will be home on the 19th against Evansville, but I couldn't find anything about Georgia Tech or Savannah State. So we're going to see what happens with that. And don't forget, for February 3rd, the official national signing day for college football. So I wait to see what happens here at Savannah. We have the early one in December now. So that's college sports. Now we got to talk a little pro.
Yeah, so we got, conference championship games tomorrow, two big games coming up. Hey, you got the Tom Brady, ageless wonder. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is young. Yeah, not like he's a young duckling. They're both veterans here. It's amazing to see how they could get back to but they're playing as good as they've ever played. I mean, Rodgers had one of the best seasons he's had, and so see who we get take on. Then you got the Bills at Kansas City, Josh Allen, young gunslinger as well against Patrick Mahomes, and so man, it's a fun time being in the NFL. You got 2 veteran quarterbacks, 2 young quarterbacks going at it. So who gets to go to the Super Bowl. And so it's a great time there for the NFL, and they'll have tomorrow pretty much all to themselves.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and especially Mahomes got cleared on the concussion protocol, so hopefully he's all right to play. And then hey, pro basketball, the Hawks are in first place again.
They've started to pick back up, man. They started off 4-0, they went through a little bit of a streak, and now they're back first place in the South. So they're talented, man. They're a talented team.
I love Clint Capella. If he's not a human block machine, a human highlight machine. I know we got Trae Young, 43 points last night, but Clint Capella, 13 points, triple double, 19 rebounds, 10 blocks.
19 boards. 19 boards and 10 blocks. Like, get out of here.
Dennis Rodman. We're talking Dennis Rodman numbers right there, buddy.
The worm.
And a big one tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. I know it's going to conflict with football. They take on the Milwaukee Bucks, so that'll be exciting. Baseball, pitches and catches are supposed to report February 16th and 17th, so we'll see what happens with that. PGA, Brian Harmon didn't do a bad job anytime you go to Hawaii, that's a winner for me. But at the Sony Open, he finished tied for 56th at 9 under. While yesterday at the American Express Open in La Quinta, California, he's tied for 10th at 8 under. So he's up there in the top 10. And the old guy, sorry, Gene, if you ever watched this, the old guy, Gene Sowers, he's back, and they're at Kapalua, Kohana, Hawaii, at the Mitsubishi Electric Championship. He's tied for 6th at 9 under. Hey, some Savannah boys out there on the West Coast doing a good job.
Yeah, man. Harmon's – he's seemed like he's been in the thick of it the last couple of years and off to a great start this year. And it seems like every time we talk about Gene Sowers, he's in the mix. He's somewhere up there in the mix every single time we talk about him.
So, all right, well, you wanted to talk about Savannah Bananas. Here you go, buddy.
Yeah, so Bananas will have their premier team. All right, it's the future of Savannah Bananas. We had Barry Aldridge on there tonight. This is a team that'll be playing specialty games before and after the CPL season in Savannah on the road. And so if you look up and see who their manager was, who they named their manager, did you look at that?
Yeah, I can't. The great Jewish manager. What's his name? Nate Fish.
Yeah, Jewish king of baseball.
Nate Fish, right?
Yeah, it's an interesting piece. Encourage people to go read it. It's a great piece. He's eclectic for sure, and so highly recommended by Tyler Gillum, who is, like you said, the man who coaches in cowboy boots, and we said the other night, hey, need to put a bull out there and let him ride a bull on third base. And we talked about how we can make banana ball more interesting with bull riding. So, I think Barry Aldridge got that down, but you will see this come along. Like I said, this CPL team, the team they'll play, they'll travel and do other stuff, and they just got it going, man. More.
I want to go to the tryouts. So if you want to be on the premier team, February 20th at Grayson Stadium, you got to go to the internet. You got to sign up. The tryouts, they're going to have Biko interview him. They're going to have the dance coach out there. So it's not just hitting a baseball and throwing a baseball. You got to have some other qualities. Jose, can you see? Oh, sorry. That tryout isn't there yet. I know.
Well, it seems like you don't even have to go to tryout now. You got the right guy. You talk to the right guy who's going to get you in there, man.
Hey, I'm practicing so I don't embarrass anybody. So, but anyway, yeah, so the tryouts are February 20th. If you want to try out for the Savannah Bananas premier team, that means they'll play games before CPL League, the Coastal Plain League, and the game, and like the banana making bacon breakfast bowl series. You got to go try it, okay? You could also see them play the premier team St. Patty's Day. Well, not really St. Patty's Day, but March 13th, they're going to have a St. Patty's Day Classic. Savannah Bananas against the premier team. So we'll see what happens with that. The first CPL game is not till May 27th. The first home Coastal Plain League game for the Bananas will be against the Bacon. Food fight, first one of the year. So we'll see what happens with that. Savannah Sports Council, you're part of it. I got invited to be on it. So you know more about it. Well, there's no hockey. That was supposed to be last week. They canceled the public Savannah Women's half marathon and 5K. They canceled that. You think we're going to have the NAIA lacrosse championships here, Chad, in May?
I do. I think we'll be able to host that. We were able to host the National Underclassmen All-American football stuff their week with a lot of high school kids. So I think this will continue, with St. Patrick's Day being shut down. We be talking about rugby this time of year as well, getting ready to get cranked up down there at Daffin Park and all around. You always see the rugby posts being put up, fields being lined, and I guess that won't happen either. I'm guessing. I'm not seeing anything about it. So, it's tough, man. I just all these events that make Savannah so special, we're not able to have. But then Savannah Bananas pull it off. Like our guy said, hey, Bananas can pull it off. You don't see why anybody else couldn't pull it off. So, but yeah, NIA men's and women's lacrosse will be here. We'll also get to host the GHSA State Soccer Championships. We'll have 3 classifications down here in Savannah, May 13th through 15th. So excited about hosting that here in the beautiful, hostess city. And so that's basically it, man. It's rolling along.
All right. Well, it's time to take 3 steps out the door. So we caught up on 3 steps in the door. Now we got to catch up 3 steps out the door. And what do you got for me, big guy?
All right. Which planet is the hottest in the solar system? Which planet is the hottest in the solar system?
It's got to be Venus, right?
You're correct.
It's the closest to the sun, isn't it?
I didn't think so, but yeah, I mean,
Venus, Mars, and then the Earth.
Is it Venus, Mars? Mars, Venus?
Hey, this old science guy, I mean, I do remember that. I got to get my son Russell. He's the science. He can tell you what type of cloud is over our head right now. Venus, I think, is the closest.
Well, there you go. All right. Who is often credited with creating the world's first car? And I'll give you a little hint. Little German automaker.
I don't know his name, but it's not Mr. Ford. It's some German guy back in the late 1800s. I can't give you his name, but I know it's.
Yeah, just think about it. They have cars all around.
Mercedes.
Yeah, Benz, Carl Benz,
Mercedes Benz. I knew it was a German guy, but everybody gives Mr. Ford the credit because he invented the assembly line and he was pushing those. Model A and Model T cars out there right away. So, but yeah, I knew it was a German guy. Now I'll never forget, hey, what does BMW stand for?
BMW.
Everybody thinks it's British-made wheels, but it's Bavarian-made wheels.
Yeah, that's another German company. And I just know that the logo is supposed to be like the propellers going through the sky.
Because they made planes first.
Yes.
All right. So what's number 3 now?
Number 3. All right. So where did it go here? I had it. It was a sports question. I was going to give you that's too easy. Hold on. Let me get back to my sports questions here.
I watch Jeopardy every night. Come on, shoot it at me.
I know, man. That's why you're hard to get stumped here. It's hard to get stumped. All right, I'm gonna give you a computer question.
Go ahead.
All right, so it's not really a computer question. It's to say this in general. Do you know the first year that the first iPhone came out? Do you have an idea when the first iPhone came out?
You're talking to the wrong guy because I live on Androids, but everybody in my family has an iPhone. I'm going to take a guess. 1996.
2007.
Wow.
2007.
I thought it was early in that. I had a flip phone back in 97.
Yeah, I think we all have flip phones back in 1997.
So
I think we all have flip phones. So
all right, okay. Once again, Chad, great show, great lineup. It was a lot of fun talking to, of course, Kyle Lawson, Cooper George from Savannah Christian, our Athlete of the Week. Then, of course, Kyle Sandy, who is the Mr. Guru basketball in the state of Georgia, and Kevin Kernan, who gave us a little stories about reminiscence. Could you imagine interviewing Hank Aaron, Muhammad Ali, Tony Gwynn? I mean, I cherish that guy's life. I really wanted to be a sports reporter before I got into this teaching thing, but I guess coaching was my calling. And I would have loved to live his life. Dennis Knight. He does a great job. Just doing sports would be unbelievable. And remarkable man. And if you want to read his stories, go to ball9.com. So once again, great show. And I know this is one of the longest one we have, but I can't believe, we're at this point. But we'll be back Wednesday night for Wednesday Night Live following the other internet show. That's Rubbin' and Grubbin'. They come on at 6 o'clock. And then, of course, we have 2 other shows during the golf season. We'll have the 19th hole with the Herb Brothers. And, of course, our podcast with the 2 boys, Spencer Maddox and Travis Jadon, Hot Grids podcast. You can listen on any podcast source. But I want to let you talk about a little bowling before we get out of here.
So we had this bowling challenge going on. It came up about who could be the best, bowling, and it started out, I think it was just going to be us and Travis and Spencer, and then obviously rubbing and grubbing, and became a whole, basically Coach's Corner Sports Network charity event is what it's morphed into. And tell us about what charity is for there, Karl.
Save one of our own.
Yeah, save one of our own.
Which is through John Henderson and Ashley Williams, Tubbies. They get together, they form this to help one of our own. So you can sponsor us by how many pins we knock down. You can just be a team sponsor. We're going to need your help. I will post that pretty soon on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report, February 20th. February 28th at what's the lane? Tibet. Right, and our MC for the tournament will be John Henderson, so that's going to be pretty interesting. So it'll be a lot of fun.
We need some bowling shirts. So we need sponsors like Chico Bell Bonds on some bowling shirts. We need a bowling shirt, man.
We do. Yeah,
so we got to find a sponsor for our bowling shirt, man.
So it's going to go to charity. It's going to be good. We're 100-1 to win. I think the Herb brothers were like 150-1 to win. Of course, Travis Jadon has the Hot Grids crew winning 3-1. So and then Rubbin and Grubbin's at 30-1. So we're not even getting any love here. So we got to see what we can do with that.
We'll get there, man. It's all about you gotta be in the moment. I think Travis and them are a little bit worried now. They're a little bit spooked after talking to Dan Foles the other night, and I think they're going to pull back on that reins of what they think they can do.
The boy that shoots 175 with the guardrails up, so he doesn't shoot a gutter ball. Give me a break. Let's see what he does when there's no guardrails. Then maybe it'll be 150. Well, we'll see. We'll see what this old guy can do with this young guy. We're going to give him a run for their money.
We got it, man. We'll be on them.
So once again, thank you for watching. I hope whatever you've been doing today or yesterday, you hit it at the park. But until Wednesday night, it's your best week ever. Remember, what do we got to do, Chad?
Got to mask up, wash your hands, be careful out there, stay safe, and we'll see you Wednesday night. God bless you, man. Have a great week.
The Coach and AD, all part of the Coach's Corner Sports Network. Here we go. We're out of here. Good job. Peace out.
See you, man.